What do you hate?
Going home from a Cub Scout meeting with blue balls because my little pal had to go home to his mommy. I hate that.
Chris did well.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is 2 weeks in a row that I play the audio right off the hop and it's not working. It's working for me. It's not working for you guys. It worked in production when we were testing right before we went live, and all of a
We
sudden
hear it now.
That's right.
you hear it now.
I heard the end of it.
Heard the end
What?
of it, very end of it, just introducing me. It was great.
That's really fucked up. Thank you, StreamYard.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, we're off to a roaring start. Hello, everyone. My name is Donnie Da Silva. In case you weren't able to hear the introduction, and that man over there, he is the Rick to my Morty, the Wayne to my Garth, the Thelma to my Louise. That's Notorious TID. Chris Tidwell.
Who's driving the car? I just want to know who's driving.
We're both
How
dying. Who gives a
fast we're
shit?
going off the cliff, Donnie?
Yeah, we're
What's
going
happening?
over.
All right.
Honestly, from our road trip experiences, there's been a lot of times when I'm driving and you're sitting shotgun and I wanted to drive off a cliff.
So you're saying there's still a chance?
It's very, when we drove home from Buffalo in January,
You have so much pent up anger about that.
I wanted
one
to
time.
kill you, me, and everyone in sight. Like, you were the most annoying dickhead that night.
Oh,
drunk.
you were ready to do something so obnoxious like that, like swerve into people and cause other
Yeah.
people harm. But all of a sudden we get to the border and you're like, shh, don't say.
Oh my God. Yeah, we
Yeah.
get to the border and this asshole,
Person, human,
sitting there rolling down the window.
friend.
He rolls down the window and screams at the border guards, "Hurry the fuck up, cocksucker!" Like, shut the fuck up. What are they going to do to me? An American. I don't care what you are. Shut
Yep.
up.
Well, because they don't have a passport for fucking lit.
So fucking stupid.
Did you make it home?
Yeah, eventually.
All right. So what are you worried about?
Not
Jesus.
for long.
That was like 7
Not-
years ago.
I didn't make it home for long. I had to then get up, turn around because some drunken asshole forgot his phone on the floor of my car.
That is so rude of that person to do. And you are a very fine human being for returning it to them.
Fucking dick. I was so murderous that night. So murderous. Thelma and Louise, I get it. I get it.
Wow.
I get
Such
it.
anger. It's so
Yeah.
funny that you couldn't possibly do anything else about it. So that's why it's funny. Hello to everybody joining us in the chat today. Hello to the guys in the back making this whole thing work out. And special guest, I don't know. Do you want to say anything about it? Like, we have a special surprise guest producer joining us this week.
Does he count as a surprise? But like, he used to be our producer and then he bailed on us for greener
Dude.
pastures.
I don't know the work that you clearly haven't seen the work that he's been doing on these other shows. He is a rock star supreme.
Is he the reason why the audio didn't work off the top?
Well, I mean, he is a little greedy. It is his thing, apparently, so he does like to have creative control over everything. So it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not going to say it out loud.
Sitting behind the glass on the other side, we have Andy from Ontario, as per usual, and producer Joe making his Godfathers.
Tremendous.
What
Thank
up,
you for
producer
joining
Joe?
us in the back, guys. And thank you again, everybody joining us in the chat. Hit that like button, I guess, is what they're supposed to say. Hello, Tiff. Hello, Donkey Kongton. Hello, Dr. Bumgarden. Hello
Dr.
to everybody.
Bumgarden?
Bumgarden. Yeah. It's like a whole garden full of bums.
Good handle.
Right?
If you're not joining us live and you are checking out an archive anywhere, on any of our online affiliates or on godfathersofpodcasting.com. Make sure that you join us live next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We go live each and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm super stoked about next week's episode, Ted. I'm going to throw out a promo right now. I know that you know how excited I am.
I know that you know that I know that you know.
You know that I know
you are.
That I know how excited I am about next week's guest.
I really don't know.
I've been a fan of this guy's comedy since I was in high school. His name is Jeremy Hotz, and he is fucking chef's kiss. If you don't know his comedy, shame on you. Go look it up.
You want to know the cool thing? That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, straight up chef's kisses.
Oh, absolutely. We're on a roll, baby. Every week is money. Every week on the Godfathers is money.
So let's do it.
Is this live? Nope.
Not even close.
Nope.
Who are these guys? Who are you? N chess. That's not a real thing. That's not a real person. But thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's definitely live, motherfucker. Because if it wasn't, I would have said, stop. Let's fix the audio off the top. This is as live as it gets. There ain't no net. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time right now for the big hello, because this week's guest grew up in Suffolk County, New York, before going on to play college football for Western Kentucky. Go Hilltoppers. And as impressive as that is, what he did after college is what really put him on the pop culture map. For close to a decade, he was an on-air personality and associate producer for The Howard Stern Show. He was one of my personal favorite characters on the program. I tuned in each and every day to hear what the fuck this guy was going to get roasted for next. He was front and center for some extremely controversial bits that sure as hell wouldn't get aired today, but it was a different time. Since then, he stepped into the world of acting, appeared in a few different movies. He even released a comedy special on DVD. Today, he's the host and owner of WMAP Radio, where he celebrates the world's most amazing people. He's even written 2 books on the topic. And like everyone else on this network, doesn't seem to be the biggest fan of Stuttering John. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and listen to my song. I loved him on Stern, man. It's been too long. They were jealous of his pipes the size of King Kong. He'd wear a little marble bag or maybe a thong, interviewing gay dudes on the beach, but he didn't belong. This dude's met everyone, probably Cheech and Chong. So take their lead and grab your bong. Give it up to this amazing person, KC Armstrong.
Wow, that was awesome, Donnie.
Hey.
That's awesome. Chris, how you doing, man? Guys,
I'm doing fantastic, my man.
Thank you so much for having me, man. That was some intro. Jesus Christ.
It's all downhill from here, brother.
No, I'm with you, brother. Hey, really,
hey, no, listen, no,
it's a big honor, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
It's a lot of fun for us. You know, Tid and I have been doing online radio together since the internet was born. And it's no secret, we've said this publicly 1,000 times. A lot of the shows we used to do were heavily based on the Stern formula, right? It was like, there we are, front and center. And then we'd have as many different characters, members of the cast, people chiming in, producers, associate producers, remote collaborators, stringers, whatever the fuck it was. And we would have these people, and they all had their own little cult following. They all had their own little groups of fans, right? And I can imagine, dude, when you were on that show for the run that you were there, and it was hot at the time. I mean, they had the TV show, they had all that going on when you were there. You must have felt like a fucking rock star.
Yeah, I mean, to be around Howard and the guys that were on the show. I mean, it was intimidating just to be around Fred and Jackie, Robin, Gary. But, you know, when you're around people so much, like I'm sure you guys know, they become very close to you, and they're just after a while, except for Howard, I was always intimidated by him. But everyone else just kind of seems like, you know, classmates or something like that. You know?
Right. Did that ever change? Did you ever not feel intimidated by Howard?
Never. And to be honest with you, I really couldn't even have a conversation with him. He said, he was nice. He reached out. He invited me and my girlfriend at the time to go out to dinner with him and Beth and John and Susanna, and it was us 6. And we went to I'll never forget because I've never been to one of those fancy restaurants or whatever, but it was the guy, the big orange, the bearded guy, Battaglia.
Okay, yeah.
Not the football player, the chef.
The chef.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay,
Mario Battaglia.
Thank you. Yes,
That's the guy.
yeah. It was called like something with a B, Babu or something like that. That was the name of the restaurant. And,
Right.
They're getting like wine and what wine goes good with whatever they're having. I got the most basic thing on. I think I just got like a steak because I knew I would like that. I don't know about all that other stuff, like what wine goes with it. I got a Crown Royal and a steak, but it was just like nothing that either one of us did wrong. It's just that me and Howard were just not cut from the same. We were just very different people. I liked him a lot. I think he liked me too, but it was just we didn't really have much to talk about because not much in common. But I really, really liked him and was in such gratitude to be around him. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, I remember him saying one time after, maybe it was that dinner that we went out to, he goes, I tried to talk to Casey, but he's uncommunicable. I'm just like, I just didn't know what to say, man.
The funny part though is Howard says in recent years, he's still going to therapy nonstop, right? And he says on the show all the time, I'm not easy to talk to. I'm not easy to get along with. When I hang out with people outside of the show, I'm not fun. And he fully admits that. And then I think about a social dynamic with you and a guy like Howard Stern. And I think, look, at your roots, you're a jock, right? You're a jock. And he doesn't fucking understand sports. Like he looks at people cheering at a championship win. He goes, what are these idiots doing? He doesn't get it. Right. Yeah. And so if you, Tid and I are hanging out, we can sit there and talk football. We can talk whatever. And it's easy, right? It would be fucking easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it all comes down to, can you find common ground with somebody? And I guess in your case with Howard, your common ground was your work together.
Right. And you know what? One thing that was really cool, and I could say something really nice about Howard was years after that I got fired. My brother's a football coach, right? Just like my old man was when he was alive. And for the Long Island Championship, they were playing Roosevelt.
Okay.
That's where Howard went.
Where Howard went to school.
Yeah. And Roosevelt is a war zone. Right.
Yeah.
So they played at Stony Brook University, and I reached out to Howard. I'm like, Howard, do you want to go watch this game? I'm going to go watch my brother. I'm coming back from California. I'm going to go watch. And we were like, we were seconds away from it was almost going to happen, And I think it's because out of the respect he had, and I think he wanted to learn kind of. What it was like. He wanted to learn about football. And by the way, Roosevelt had like a 35-year-old running back, by the way. I'm just saying.
Legit. What was he?
He must have been like, I don't know, but he was a boy among men.
Okay.
He was an awesome running back. I don't know what happened to him, but Roosevelt is as bad as they say it is. It's the worst school. But they beat my brother's team by a touchdown. Howard didn't go, but I thought it was really cool that he we were almost set up to go. It was almost going to happen, and that's not something that he really he'd rather go and do like wine tasting, I'm sure, or something like that.
Right.
But I found that to be quite admirable. A guy getting out of his comfort zone to see someone who he used to work with, and I took it as a great deal of respect, and I really appreciated him for that.
I know Tid wants to jump in, but before he does, I just want to slide this one
Why
thing.
call him
When you
Tid?
talked
His name
about
is Chris.
What's that?
Why you call him Tid? His name is Chris.
He's an asshole.
Fucking Tid. He's Tid. I've known this guy almost 30.
Should I call you Tid or Chris?
Yeah,
You can call me Tid.
Yeah.
My friends call me Tid. My last name is Tidwell. It's not up there, so first 3 letters of it. Yeah, and
nobody calls this motherfucker.
I just want to piss this guy off. I mean, for God's sake, this is the guy you don't want mad at.
People say that all the time. I'm just chill, man.
Casey, when people call him Chris, I instantly know they don't know
I'm
him.
in trouble. Yeah. Or yeah, they just don't.
Okay.
They just don't know him that well. No, I'll let to jump in a second. But when you talk about the 35-year-old running back, the first thing that jumped in my head was way back in, I think it was 2001. I was coaching a basketball team. We had a tournament down in Ohio, and I was one of the unlucky coaches that had to go in and have a game against St. Mary St. Vincent when LeBron James was an 11th grader.
No way.
And I
How
remember
big was he back then, dude?
what's that?
How big was he back then?
He was like 6'7" and like 215, 220. Yeah, like that. But like he was a beast.
Right.
He was a fucking beast.
He was a man among boys playing, probably. It looked like he was on a different level, probably.
Oh my
right?
God. And this was literally a week or two before he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Wow, dude.
Right? As an 11th grader. And like all the kids were buzzing because they already knew, right? They already had seen shit online about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like that game was over before tip off. Like the guys on my team were looking for his fucking autograph. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine? Wow. That's
It was
pretty cool. That's a cool story, man.
It was wild.
That you got to see that.
That's a lifetime ago. But I remember seeing this guy and thinking, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
What did you say to
special.
your kids before the game? You say like, what kind of speech you give beforehand? Just go out there. I want you to do your best because we know this isn't going to go out the way we want it to, but I want you to do your best.
Trip to my Lou just donated $2 and said, jabronis, can you be interesting hacks?
Yes,
interesting hacks.
Interesting enough for you to send us $2. Do
Yeah,
it more,
thanks.
and we'll be more interesting. I mean, whatever. That's
No
cool.
guarantees.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for the message. We'll take it under advisement.
Yeah,
We're having fun. Go fuck your hat.
We'll run it up the pole, as they say.
Blame Joe, the producer.
Casey, when you were playing football all the way, thank you, all the way back then, I think you played for Kentucky. Right?
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky, Hilltoppers. Probably one of their best years under, a lot of people didn't know, one of their best coaches of all time. Right?
That's all, man, you know this shit. Well, Jack Harbaugh, yeah, he was like a second father to me. The guy was amazing.
And I think we have back in the back, if the guys have that picture available.
Look at this guy.
Oh my
Yo,
God.
can we zoom in on that?
Talk magazine?
Can we zoom in on that shot? Look at the lid on this kid.
I know.
A senior number 19, KC Armstrong, 5'11", 177.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's the
Were you
first senior
doing
year.
cycles?
Sorry, Donnie, I can't zoom in on it.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, no, that was my first senior year because I redshirted my first year, so I played 5 years. But my last year, I guess I grew another half an inch or an inch, and then I played around 190, close to 190, so about 6 foot 190. Yeah, that's. But I was saying before, I mean that is just a very homosexual picture.
Well,
But you know what?
well,
Not as bad as that one.
what? Funny you should mention that, Casey.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's no shortage of pictures where Casey looks gay.
Yeah.
That is definitely not 177. You were ballooned the
That's
fuck out
205.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 205. That's Winstrol. That's HGH. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Everything but rollerblades, as we like to say. Pretty much. And then it all turned around, and you decided to write a book.
You got the ugly guy there, but the book did real well, considering that I'm like borderline illiterate. So that's
What made you think about doing this?
I think it was probably one of the best things that I ever did, because I know it helped a lot of people. The first chapter is about a guy that was in the concentration camp Auschwitz and Mauthausen, and he survived the concentration camps, and he was telling people about what it was like. And at the end, he's talking about how beautiful life is and how lucky he is. And ever since I did that interview, I'm like, what the fuck do I have to complain about? I am such an ingrate. And I think a lot of people took away the same kind of message. Like, we got nothing to complain about. You see what this guy, the guy was made to sleep next to a dead guy for 3 days to get his ration of acorn soup. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's incredible. Now, there was obviously some time in between the picture before and the picture of the guy on the book, right?
I'm just saying the picture before should have been the cover of the book.
Yeah, that would. Well,
I think that would have been a different demographic.
Whatever. Buy it, motherfuckers.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You see some like super gay guy being like, "What the fuck? I can't finish to this."
Well, I mean,
this is too depressing. I'm just gonna look at the cover and be gay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna close the book.
I mean, we've all pretty much done it to like a Sears catalog at one point in our lives.
Oh my God. Back in the day when I was a
National
kid, that was the
Geographic.
best.
Did you guys, are you old enough to remember the lines that would go through with cable where you
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
get, like the Playboy channel or something, but you get the lines through there and you can make out a tit every once in a while and you go, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh no, Casey, you and I are the same age. Tit is much, much, much older, but you and I are the same age.
I used to get left as a child after school sometimes with this because my mom worked in a bar. And no, I would get left at this guy who ran the front desk of a motel. And it was one of those motels that you could rent by the hour.
Oh, wow.
So I would just hang out in one of the empty rooms of the motel. So porn was always there.
Oh, all right.
But I remember, after like we've moved away from that area and I was subjected to like trying to decipher, Braille TV or whatever the fuck it was that was going on at that point.
26 years I've known you. I never knew you were a motel latchkey kid.
Yeah, for a brief period.
Did you see some crap as a kid that a kid shouldn't see?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I grew up a bit of a gypsy as a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was in a cult, one of those traveling church gimmicks where they set up the tent, you know what I mean, and go around and like get people to come to their thing. It was back in the 70s, early 70s. Yeah.
When you say cult, was it just people that were real religious, or were they up to something kind of some nonsense?
Oh, they're all up to something. I mean, let's face facts there. I mean, it's a money thing, right?
This is still in Vegas, right?
No, this was in California.
Oh, in California.
This was in California. I was under 5 years old at this point.
So this is the 1950s.
Somewhere in the Inland Empire, probably.
San Bernardino area.
Yeah.
In around there. Yeah.
Gypsy
And we used to set up like the white tent in the parking lot and then go around and tug on people's shirt with my white leather Bible and my long ass hippie hair and a leather vest with tassels and say, "Excuse me, sir, do you want to come to our church meeting?"
712 Colgate put in $1.99, says, "Sup tittle, what the fuck is Pat Dixon, i.e. acorn soup?" I have no idea what this comment means.
He does, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Thanks for your $1.99.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's got a story,
man. I mean,
yeah.
I bet you got a hell of a book in you, man. It sounds like you've seen a lot of nonsense and a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of things that at your age you shouldn't have seen.
The problem is I've also had a lot of concussions.
You got hit
they come out sporadically. They come out sporadically. All of a sudden you can go on a tangent like this and everything's cool. And then other times you're just sitting there staring at a blank fucking wall, like beating your head off of it because you can't. You're like, what the fuck am I doing?
That's right? Concussions and 45 years of marijuana.
Yeah.
What do you attribute the concussions to? Or did you get hit a lot?
Wrestling and wrestling and fighting and not without headgear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I did 26 years. I did 26 years of professional wrestling, pretty much, and all around. And I've had a broken neck. I've had multiple concussions. I mean, whatever.
When you get hit now. If you get hit in the head now, do you get deja vu, or do you not remember stuff? No,
I don't get hit in the head now at all. I don't get hit head in the head. No, I see. I can
you work out.
Yeah, but I don't spar.
You don't
anymore.
roll around anymore.
I still do some light grappling.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like always, like
wife.
from guard. You know what I mean? Just like working on just mobility stuff. You know what I mean?
But you're not doing, like you say, you're not doing any sparring. You're
No, I
not
can't. I had to stop wrestling because I've got all of the vertebrae. So 2 of my vertebrae in my neck are fused together.
Fused. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And every single
one. Yeah. It's
every,
what he's talking about is so fucking painful.
and every single one in my back, except for 2, are
he's
fused.
like a robot.
Yeah. It's a horrible.
It's broken. Like, the like normal movement is like this. He's like just a little bit. I mean, he basically they've shrunk to be one. Yeah. That's years. That's years of
been there. You've been there, but then you hit like, okay, I gotta ask this because I've been there myself too. You hit a bottom. You hit a real bottom at one point in your life, right?
I bet you've hit some bottoms.
What was the one moment that you attribute the climb back up to? Because there is one. There's one with all of us. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, enough's enough. For me, I can remember very specifically, I said to myself, if you don't stop what you're doing right now, you're going to die.
Right. And
that was it. I just absolutely had to. Was there a specific moment for you too?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. But I'm a superstitious person, and I never think that you hit your bottom because there's always something worse that could be coming, or might be. So I don't ever like to say, yeah, I hit my bottom, because I could think of a million things, even at my worst, could be 10 times worse. I've been to jail, and that was petrifying. And
what'd you go to jail for?
Well, for the time I was talking about, I went to Alaska, and I was in one room for 10 days. And the worst thing was that they took away all my medication that I was on, and you had to go cold turkey off of everything. And that was torture. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. It was so horrible, and it's so scary. And 10 days not knowing, nobody knew where I was. I don't know anybody's number by heart. I couldn't reach anybody, so I was in the same room for 10 days, and I never forget how lucky I am to have my freedom. So it can always get worse.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Thankfully to everybody, both of us are doing a million times better now, right?
No doubt.
100%.
No doubt.
I mean, not visually, but I mean, let's go get that super chat back up on the screen because I want to give her credit. Tiff sent in $10 and she said, I love you, old busted athletes, double hearts, don't stop gimping. Fucking right.
Tiff's cool.
I think that's a Journey song. Don't stop gimping. 712 Colgate once again with another $1.99 says, UC Tittle understands I'm half Canadian mom's side. I'm full Canadian. I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
Well, you're good for you. You're fucking lucky.
I don't speak 712 Colgate, whatever the fuck this guy's going on about. KC, I want to ask you, man, going back to Western Kentucky, because I'm a total sports nerd, so I get interested in
basketball. Were you basketball? Were you football too? Baseball?
I played basketball when I was a kid, but I was one of those kids that never.
How are you friends with him? Because as a wrestler,
I did a Make-A-Wish.
You're not supposed to get along.
Yeah, I did a fucking Make-A-Wish, and this is what I got stuck with. Yeah.
So I
didn't know there was a Big Brother program that I could give him back.
The truth is, we worked at the same nightclub together in Toronto back in the late 90s. And then at first when I met him, I was fucking terrified. Like he had this reputation of being the scariest.
Really? I wonder why.
Meanest motherfucker around. And I got to know him, and he never tried to punch me in the face. And I thought that was cool. Yeah. So And then it was like late, it was like early 1996. Some friends of mine, I was working in radio already, and some as a intern, and some friends of mine got an opportunity to go start up an internet radio station. It was like the first one ever. And they offered me a job as a show host. And they said, if you want to get a co-host, find someone you like. So I walked up to Tid and said, hey, you want to host a show together? He goes, maybe.
Wow, so you and Tid been working that long together, huh?
That long.
Wow, that's awesome.
Off and on different projects, not the same project.
Not always the
You know
same
what I mean?
show, different shows, different projects. But yeah, we've been on the mic together that long.
How far from Mississauga were you guys?
Mississauga's about 40 minutes.
Okay, and that's in Toronto, right?
Yeah, it's just outside Toronto. Yeah,
that's what my roommates were from there.
Okay,
great guys, and they turned me on to Tragically Hip, and
right on.
One of my favorite bands, and I'm sure you can't be from Canada and not like Gord Downie.
Gord Downie's fucking awesome. I love the Tragically Hip. If you're into like that sound though, dude, I'll get you onto some other music that you'll fucking love.
I hate Stompin' Tom.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about country.
All right. Well, yeah, these were the other ones that I got from them. But the Tragically Hips just sound by themselves, and Gord was just a entertainer, lyricist. He was just awesome. And so it sucks that we lost him. But if I had to say my favorite thing about Canada, it would be Gord Downie.
Gord Downie's awesome.
Have you listened to the Trues yet?
I was just going to say the
I haven't
Trues.
heard that, no,
they're probably the closest
Yeah.
you're going to get from
And they've
here
been on this show a couple times.
Yeah, the closest you're going to get to that Tragically Hip kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily the sound. TREWS.
Yeah, they're fantastic, dude. And
I took it out.
I mentioned off the top of the show actually about wanting to murder Tid when we were driving home from Buffalo in January. That's because he and I went down to a Trues concert in Buffalo where he and I got to introduce them. And it was like a sold out venue. It was fucking cool as hell. It was a lot of fun, but they're a great, great band. I think if you like the hip, you'll like the Trues.
Okay, I'll check it out.
But yeah, I was going to ask you, dude, going back to your football days. So like, I'm guessing you were a star quarterback in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And in your high school, like you were a fucking legend, right? Like,
well, my high school was the second worst, probably in the state. We were horrible because my senior year, the school split in half. All the good athletes went to one school, and I was stuck with a small class. And I think we won one game my senior year, so we weren't very good, and it was tough getting looks coming out of there. But I did have made the finalist. There's an award. I'm sure there's something. It's like the same thing. The best player,
right?
But I still made it in the top four. I didn't get it, but I got the MVP of the All-Star game, so that helped me get in with the colleges. But I was small, like you said. I was small coming out of high school.
Right.
So I thought I was going to have to wrestle, which would be hell for me. But it worked out where I walked down my first year, and then after that I had a full ride. So
when you go to Western Kentucky on a full ride, you're a hot shot QB from a shitty little school. Is there any part of you in your head that when your coach comes to you, legend that he is, right? Whoever it was that comes to you, whether it's the head coach, an assistant, whoever it is, and says, Armstrong, you're going to play free safety. Armstrong, you're going to play corner. Armstrong, you're going to kick the fucking ball. Like,
that was tough.
At any point, does your ego go, I'm a fucking quarterback, you motherfuckers?
Well, I mean, when it's a great question, man, because when you're posed with that question, all you want is, I don't know if you saw that, there's that one movie with Latimer, and he's like, a place at the table. That's all you're looking for. You're just looking to start somewhere, and it doesn't matter where it is. And usually if you're a punter or a kicker, that's all you do. I couldn't do that. I couldn't look my old man in the face and do that. So if I did, I did punting and did well at it, but I still played on the special teams, and I still played quarterback because I could back up Willie Taggart,
right?
And I wouldn't be taking the headshots because it's dangerous to play, especially someone at my size, to hit, to tackle someone, or to play corner or free safety, every play. So
from an ego perspective, it didn't kill you.
Oh,
You were okay.
that was your question. I'm sorry, and yes,
That's okay.
It did. It was a big ego shot, but when I got voted captain twice, that kind of evened a little bit of it out, where I had the respect of my team, and that is what you guys, I'm sure, can relate. That's more important than anything. As long as you got the guys, if they'll fight for you, that means so much. And even though if you're playing a position like that, I'll keep my language, and I won't say anything horrible about kickers or punters. But you need them, and it's something I did because my team needed it.
Right. So basically, fuck Pat McAfee is what you're saying to us right now, KC.
Go ahead. They're not real football players.
You can say it, guys. Get ready to clip it.
Well, I mean, Reggie Roby was a hell of an athlete. I'll tell you that.
But, yeah,
he's good in the ring.
But they weren't.
They've never been looked at as like, oh my God, your number one pick, the guy who's, you know what I mean, going to be carried on everybody's shoulders is the fucking punter or the place kicker until they land that one or they pull off that trick play that wins the fucking game. You know what I mean? And then you get that brief moment of, fuck yeah, this is all worth it. You know what I mean? It's like golf.
The kicker's the most thankless job in football because you're expected to hit. And if you don't hit, you're the loneliest guy on the squad.
Water boy.
Man.
You're
water boy. Right. I mean, I never, I could kick off, but I never could, kick field goals or anything like that. But I mean, those guys, think about what kind of pressure they're under at the end of the game. It's either, you win the game or you lose the game for the team. That's a lot of pressure. And like Ted said, you're supposed to, you're supposed to kick that field goal. And if you don't, you're an asshole.
My old man, when he was a kid growing up in Portugal, he played soccer, and he would have played at a very high level, but he grew up on a very poor farm. They didn't have money. So by the age of 10, he was working full time for a living in a bakery before moving to Canada. Wow. He would have been a person for your podcast if he was still around, but he tells me stories about when he was playing football, and then he would go back, like football, soccer, and then he would go back and play. And he was a goalie, and he would tell me stories about he would kick the ball like on a goalie kick, and it would go 3/4 the distance of the field. And so when he would watch American football with me, he'd watch these kickers and he'd be like, these fucking pussies, they can't kick 40 yards. Wow. I do that barefoot. Wow. And he was like, he was blown away by kickers. When I was asking you about the ego blow, it reminded me of a story from this week. I don't know how much you pay attention to the NBA. Chris Paul traded to the Golden State Warriors not long ago. And there was a press conference this week where he's in a bit of a scrum. And this reporter, she says to Chris Paul, so you've never come off the bench before in your whole career. So now being here in Golden State, how do you feel about coming off the bench? And he's like, are you coaching? And he's like, nobody told me I'm coming off the bench. And you could see
he said his mindset is I'm gonna come in and start. I'm taking somebody's spot.
Fucking right. Okay. And you could see that he that was not even a thought in his head, right? And he was offended.
Right.
He did not do the politically correct answer of, hey, whatever the team needs.
Right. I got you. No, that's a great story. And that's the mindset that a champion has.
He's like, hey man, no one told me I'm not starting. Go fuck yourself.
I didn't come here to be a backup. Yeah.
Yeah. Steph Curry's going to play a new position. I'll tell you that. Going back to your days on the Stern Show. I mean, dude, there's so much we could dive into. There's so much. First and foremost, let me ask you this. Is there anyone from the show that you're still close with, that you're on good terms with, that you talk to regularly?
Grillo came out from the city to see me maybe a month or two ago. Artie was always my best friend there, and Ronnie was too. I love those guys. That's
a dream guest for me, by the way.
Who Ronnie or Artie?
Artie.
Yeah, Artie's a great guy, man. But nobody can. He disappears, and
I know
that's must be what he needs. So
Yeah.
you know, that's cool. I mean, the guy is just an amazing guy, and I hope he's doing okay. But I haven't heard from him. But to answer your question, it was Grillo, and I Tom. I talked to Tom not too long ago, and
Chiasano.
Chiasano, great guy, and AJ Benza.
Yeah, Tom fired you, right?
Tom fired me over the phone. Yeah, he did. Uh, you know, but that's what he had to do. I was supposed to go to outpatient treatment,
Mm-hmm.
and I went instead and did a comedy show in Boston with Levy and Miss Howard Stern, and ended up with Miss Howard Stern in some hotel room for 3 or 4 days. And
Yeah, you did.
Didn't make it back for my meeting. So this was like, you know, the second time they gave me a chance. They gave me plenty of chances. I was just an asshole, just a
Right.
punk, you know. But
Hey, you're what, 26 years old or 27 years old?
yeah, just
You're
yeah,
a kid.
yep.
You're getting pussy left and right. You're feeling like a rock star. You're making money.
Yeah, and you know, that in retrospect, probably I don't know what I was thinking. I can't tell you what I was thinking. It wasn't
not
a good time for me. It was
you're not when you're that age and you're on top of the world, you're untouchable. You're like you don't care about what tomorrow's going to bring. You don't care about what the future's going to bring. You're just living in the moment.
Right. Very true. Yeah, you said it well.
And so I'm guessing it was what? It was blow that you were doing. You're all cleaned up today?
The thing that got me down was mostly the depression, but it didn't help with all the alcohol and the meds and stuff. That's what they told me at the first rehab. I went to 7 or 8 of them, but the first one they said, you really don't have a drug or alcohol problem. You have to work on your mental. He said
mental health. Yeah.
He said you're crazy. You know, trying to make levity of it, but yeah, it was mental illness basically, and then mental illness, and you throw on alcohol and prescriptions and stuff like that. That's a recipe that it's going to be kind of hard to come back from.
It's funny though, because at that time, so this is 2004 when you got canned.
2000, I think it was 5. I think
2005. Okay,
4 or 5 around there. Yeah.
So it was talked about on the show, right? While you were still there and afterwards, that you were struggling with your mental health. And like 2005 is not that long ago, right? But it's funny how the world has changed, because the public perception then versus now, when you say I'm having mental health issues, back then people looked at you like, oh, you're a fucking pussy.
Tough
it up.
And men don't get depressed, right?
Yeah. What are you sad about? You're getting laid. You got chicks left and right.
Yeah.
You're making money.
What are you going to be upset about? Yeah.
And people don't understand depression is different from sadness, and mental health is a very different animal. So
very good take on that.
Yeah. And today, if you say to your employer, hey, I'm having mental health struggles, and they can you, fuck them. Now they're fucked.
Right.
You know? Yeah. And I know Howard still ribs his guys when they make comments about mental health and all this. And when he has an employee that talks about wanting a paternity leave, he's like, go fuck yourself. You know, like it's not the most HR friendly place to work, because he still goofs on guys that way. But these are standard work conditions today.
Yeah, it's a different day, and you know that's why. I mean, the show isn't what it used to be. I don't listen to it, but
right.
I think that changed. From what I understand, after 2005 or whatever, when they went to Sirius, those could have been the best couple of years, because it was still on that. Even though they could say whatever they wanted, it was still kind of teetering on that line. But then if you go 3 or 4 years later, now they're PC, and now it's completely different. And then I think that's where you lose the people, you know, like us.
There was, when they first went to Sirius, I remember this so well, because I got a Sirius radio just to listen, right? And when they first got on, It was the novelty, right? They had spent so many years trying to get around Tom Chiasano with that dump button. They spent so many years trying to figure out ways to say dirty things that they weren't allowed to say on FM radio. And now they're just like, fuck, pussy tits cock butthole. And they're just like going nuts. And it stopped being funny because it was just too much. And then it reminded me of a conversation that a producer had with Tid and I when we started at that internet radio station back in 96. Because I remember we said, are we allowed to swear? And they said, well, yeah. And they said, but you know what? Sometimes it's funnier if you don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little funnier if you show restraint because, and like, it's okay to drop an F-bomb here and there, but if you become reliant on it, then the audience just goes, right?
Yeah, it's a great point, because what is funnier if you beep out a curse word, how come that's so much funnier than the real word? Sometimes it feels like it's look at
this guy,
Paulo and Levy and Gas, Artie, Gary. Yeah, those were the days.
That looks like a regretful group. Like you look at all of those faces and they're like, oh my God, we're not going to remember this picture in the morning.
Yeah. Do you remember where that was taken, Casey?
Yeah, that was for the station out there in LA. I think it was 97.1 or something like that. But they put together a some kind of comedy show or something like that, and all those guys were out there, and every one of those guys, hilarious, man. Good time.
So here's the thing: like we talk a lot about like the Stern days and the Stern show and stuff, but now times have changed, and at that time, I really wasn't a big Stern listener. You know what I mean? Because I enjoyed the more extreme edge of things, and that was the O&A show. The O&A show, because it had like Patrice O'Neill was on there, Jim Norton was on there, like you know what I mean. And they were called the fucking the skate kids or whatever they were referred to down the street. You know what I mean? Because were you a fan of O&A while you were working for Stern, or were you still a Stern fan? You know what I mean? And like that was your entire fucking life.
Yeah, I was Stern all the way when I was working for him. I mean, that's the team I was on. Loyalty always. But on my way home, well, I think I lived in Jersey City maybe at the time or something, or whatever it was. But they were on in the afternoon, so I would hear some of the show going back, and I was just so impressed with this Anthony guy who could do these impressions. He did Dice, he did Tom Brokenjaw, or whatever, and just the way people would goof on each other, and then they were doing something pretty unique. And then it got into the when they started ripping on Howard, and they supposedly that the brass put down a muzzle on these guys where Howard didn't want them to talk about them. And I was around for that. And I think it got pretty bad, because it got to like kids and stuff. It's kind of like what everyone here does now, but they're not even on air. They're just, in the chat, and they say the meanest things possible. But I recognize Anthony's talent big time, and I still do.
Do you think though that like it forced like the feud, so to speak, with Howard at the time, forced O&A to push to the boundaries that they did? Where, because I mean, let's face it, the stuff like with Sex for Sam that got him kicked off of the airwaves, you know what I mean, while recording in the cathedral, like it's a like they pushed it. They pushed it each and every time, giving homeless people $100 each, turning them loose inside of the malls, just with a quote chaperone. Like it forced them into a position now that, it wasn't good. Right.
Yeah.
And Howard had this way of making sure that he was the kingpin. He surrounded himself with characters so that nobody could get close enough to him except for his immediate circle, which is really just a bouncing board off of one or two people.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where the uncomfortableness, you were talking about the dinner earlier, right? And the uncomfortableness is like he feels obligated, so to speak, sometimes almost, right?
Yeah. No, I think what we saw there was the genius at the time of Howard understanding what he could get away with because he had been there pushing the edge for so long, whereas the other show were funny as hell, but they hadn't been through all of the years of towing
FCC
the line.
bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's what kept the longevity moving more for
Yeah.
Howard. But then again, what the fuck do I know?
I think the Stern Show had a renaissance when they decided a few years ago, maybe as much as 10 years ago now, you know what? He's in his 60s. Like being the pervy shock guy is probably not the vibe anymore.
No, that's not going to work.
So now they have the best fucking interviews around. Like he does the best interviews. He gets guests and just dives deep and has the best interviews, and it's like they do a deeper level of research than they ever did before. Like if you listen to some of Howard's interviews from the 80s and 90s compared to today, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like when they had Wham on the show and all he did was talk to George Michael. Like, you guys sure you're not gay? Are you sure you're not gay? I think you're gay. Are you sure? No, Howard, we're not gay. Are you sure? Okay.
Hold on. At the time, that's what the people wanted to listen to.
Right.
I know, but it was 10 minutes of that.
Right.
So
it's a different day back then. And
it's a different day, but now it's like the interviews are so well prepared. Like the one he did recently with Springsteen, it was like fucking brilliant, like it's just, and it's great when he has a
writer.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He has researchers and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I saw a video the other day with Jackie the Joke Man talking about Howard would wear the dark glasses during interviews. So the guests couldn't see him reading the notes on the screen.
I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you know this or not, Donnie. There's a couple of guys that used to work at the for Howard Stern that run this station.
You don't say.
Yeah. Yeah, on
the Shilling Network.
I was just going to throw that out there for you in case you wanted to research that at all.
Didn't know. KC, I know you're a big sports guy. Are you a baseball fan at all?
I love baseball.
Guys, do we have that baseball video? I want to show this to KC and get him to react. Safe or out? Do we have that, guys? The Instagram reel.
I saw the home run derby the other day, and I saw the All-Star game.
You saw my boy Vladdy Guerrero, eh?
Oh, he's a beast.
Not this one.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Sorry, guys, one second.
Imagine how much gas that takes out of you to do 3 minutes of hitting a bangers out there.
Eric, and I'd climb Donnie, but after Tid.
Well, I'm a taller climb. You'd be tired after climbing me.
Yeah, that's the reason they're saying.
Oh, there's Ryan Sherman. I like him. Okay.
Yeah, check this out.
Safe route.
Safe route, Casey. Now watch the replay.
It looked out to me. I can't see his feet.
Watch it one more time, Casey. Look where the ball goes.
Oh, hit him right in the nuts. Oh, good. You know what? He should be safe just for taking one in the nuts.
I agree. He got called out, but you get hit in the nuts. That should be automatic take your base.
Come on, give that to him. Come on. That cruel ump that did that.
That's got to be a 1 in a million throw, right?
I know, but he put it in the right spot.
There should be a bonus. There should be a bonus for that.
Bonus of the night right there.
Do you follow baseball at all?
I do.
Have you ever heard of a team called the Savannah Bananas?
No.
Oh, is this from Banana Ball?
They're a hardball team. They're called Savannah Bananas.
The farm team?
And it's fun. They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
What do you do funny with baseball?
They have a guy who comes up and bats while on stilts.
No,
they had a play.
Ball. I know what this is.
They had Savannah Bananas is the team.
Yeah, but the league is called Banana Ball.
Because
that's cool to me.
Yeah.
Look, hey, I gotta get out of here at 9. But you guys,
so do we.
You're the best, dude.
so much. Let me give you back the reins. I'm sorry to
No.
interrupt. I just gotta be out there at 9, but I had fun with you guys. You guys are all.
Where can everybody check
come on
you
my
out?
show at any time? Would you like to come on?
100%.
Anytime, brother.
Awesome. So let me throw you the reins. I'm sorry to on your own show.
Where can everybody check you out here?
Oh, just go to, I guess, my YouTube channel. It's the KC Armstrong. I know it's completely egotistical, but it's the only thing that I had that someone else has the other one. So the KC Armstrong, and you could see like all my videos and my piano playing.
And you're in the market for a piano teacher.
Yes, I want to learn how to play Warren Zevon's Werewolves of London.
If
That's
she's
it?
a topless
else?
piano teacher,
I guess that's it. That's
Just
the
that
only
one fucking song and then call it a rap?
And Love You to Death by Typo Negative.
Okay. All right. So there's got to be a range with this person who comes in to teach you. Nice.
Yeah.
I can play Old MacDonald Had a Farm on the piano, and that's
Nobody asked.
And that's it. I can't believe you guys have been working together for so long. That's pretty awesome.
It's
Thanks, brother.
it's like a marriage gone bad, but
Right.
you know.
No, it's like a marriage.
I look at it more like herpes. It's just you have a flare up and then it just kind of goes away for a while and then a flare up again.
No, what he means is he thinks about me every time he looks at his junk.
Yeah, that's what I miss you most. That's what I miss you most.
Thanks, KC. So much fun, man.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome
brother.
hosts, and you have an awesome show. So thank you so much.
All right,
Thanks,
that's KC Armstrong. Check him out on his socials. We'll have them all up on godfathersofpodcasting.com. I think we're up against the clock, right?
No, we're not. There is nothing on.
Oh,
So we
we're
can get to the stuff that we haven't got to yet because I think that I saw them go by. There are a few super chats in there.
All right, throw them up there.
There's a couple of news stories as well, right? There is nothing on after us, if I'm not mistaken, right? Correct?
There is not. No.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. 712 Colgate, another $1.99. My grandfather from Winnipeg, Tittle, understands. Tittle's your grandfather?
No, I just understand.
Okay. And another $1.99 from 712 Colgate. He says Manitoba plus extra beer emoji equals true Canadian De Silva. Wake up. Another $1.99 from 712
I like
Colgate.
the code that he speaks in too, and it's a friendly cartoon bear. He or she, I shouldn't say. I mean, what do I know?
712 Colgate sent in another $1.99. Says Casey, it's okay. Many girlfriends helped my mental health. Beer emoji.
Still doesn't answer my question.
And another $1.99 from 712 Colgate. Tittle, Russian or German girls fave beer? That's a good question, Tid.
Why can't it be both?
I know Tid's favorite beer is PBR.
That is 100%.
Yeah. Russian or German girls, I think he'd like one of each.
Yeah, it can't be like it should totally be both all the time. Why not? Spread the love.
$1.99 from 712 Colgate. Casey, seriously, German or Russian girls fave beer? Casey's gone, so sorry.
I don't think he has a favorite beer either. Wow.
Sean H throws in $20 for nothing. Thank you, Sean H.
Amazing. That is awesome, guys. Do we want to get to these news stories? Do you have some?
We can.
A little bit of news. Breaking current news.
Breaking news.
There is a story of a man named Brady.
I don't know if that was his name.
A man in Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas is starting to turn into Florida, man.
What do you mean starting? PBR for real. Yes. Trip to my loo.
Trip to my loo just sent in a chat asking PBR for real. Yes, he loves his PBR. A man named Brian Danilchik, I think that's correct, was arrested in Las Vegas this week after he punched a one-legged man at the Flamingo, then sauntered out of the Flamingo into another casino.
What do they classify as a saunter?
I don't know. I think it's just a jaunty little jog.
Like a light skip with his fucking dork hanging out?
Yeah. Maybe not all the way to a skip. Somewhere between a skip and a strut would be a jaunt.
Like hopscotch.
Yeah. So Brian Danilchik sauntered over to another casino, got naked, and waved his junk around while standing on poker tables. There you go. There's the visual. Cops took his ass down.
That's a small blur.
It's not a flattering blur.
That's really not much of a blur.
Between the concave
That's
chest
why they
and the
blurred his
small
face.
package.
Because if it was a bigger blur, he'd have been dancing around that other blur behind the camera for sure. Like, no, look at my face.
Yeah, and I think if he was representing a little better, his wife wouldn't have come up with such a bullshit excuse. His wife came out publicly and said, he's a good man. Someone at the Flamingo put hallucinogens in his drink.
And he didn't thank them. That's the crime
Like,
here.
for free?
That's the real fucking crime here. Do you know how much it costs for good hallucinogens in Las
Yeah.
Vegas, bro?
They're just giving them away to some guy with a small package?
Yeah, like what's the end game on that? Like, did somebody follow him around with the fucking camera? Like, this is the story I'm gonna fucking sell to TMZ. We're gonna fucking roofie a guy, basically, watch him get naked and dance around another hotel that he's probably not even staying at.
Like, his wife's at least a 6.5. Why didn't she get the hallucinogens?
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Wow.
No, let's give him to Neckbeard with the small package, and you know what he'll do? He'll go to the casino and rip his clothes off.
Yeah, he went shopping with his dick in Las Vegas. That's what he did.
This is on the list of stupidest excuses for bad behavior that I've ever heard.
If it was HPE, you wouldn't need to blur.
That was from Topo Gigio in the chat.
Oh, tremendous. Yeah, I can't imagine, like, and I've seen some silly shit in and around Las Vegas, but I have not yet seen the naked person dancing around the casino.
Let me ask you a question. I have told you on this show many times and off the air.
Has it happened to you before?
No.
But
But
close? How close?
to stripping and streaking?
Yeah.
I've never been that close.
Loaded enough to where you were in a hotel room in Fort Lauderdale, say, perhaps, and you woke up in the middle of the night and had to take a leak and then walked out of the hotel room instead because you were still really fucking high, and then sauntered down to the free snack bar that was right by the lobby before you realized that you were just standing there, and then made your way back up to the room to knock on the door so that the guy and the girlfriend that he brought with him would let you back in the room. That you ever been that close?
That was you.
Oh,
How many times did that happen?
thankfully, only one that I remember.
I have said on the air and off the air, it's on my bucket list to do a Las Vegas vacation with my co-host Tid, who is a Las Vegas native. If we're in Las Vegas, what type of drugs would I have to slip in your drink to have you strut naked and have your little blur flashing around at a casino?
Cash.
Just money? That's it? What's the dollar amount?
I don't know what bail would be, but it would be that times a minimum of 100%.
Because we'll do a super chat fundraiser. Like, we'll get it going and we'll film the whole fucking thing.
All right.
He didn't say no, folks.
All right. Let's go.
He didn't say no. Another story. I kind of wanted to talk to KC about this one, but it's okay. Dog the Bounty Hunter was being interviewed by someone I've never heard of this week. And he went on a homophobic, transphobic rant. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to play that video or not, guys, but
yeah, he went on one of these rants basically where he said that the world doesn't need any more sissies, right, and that Jesus wasn't a sissy.
And he referred to gays as an evil that must be stopped. And I have to say, I am shocked that Dog the Bounty Hunter is not a progressive-minded person. I thought when I looked at him, there's a guy who believes in, equality for all.
Was it the woman length hair? Was it the braids of feathers in said hair?
I'm gay as fuck.
You know what? I commend him. Good for him.
What?
Good for him. He's doing a good job of making the news.
Okay.
Outside of that, yeah. And enjoy life, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't think that I always find it difficult and interesting whenever they bring Jesus into the equation.
Oh my God.
You're trying to compare it to a guy who there was never short military haircut Jesus. There was never I wasn't wearing sandals or barefoot wearing a fucking dress Jesus. Like, these are all things that you would not stand for today, but the person that you look up to most, this was their entire look.
Yeah, if Jesus was walking around today, they would have called him a homo.
Is that is this what we're going after? I don't know. I
had a Christian
that's just me, folks. That's just me. I don't buy into the religion thing to begin with, but that's just me.
I had a Christian Bible thumper get on my case the other day and say, why are you okay with the gays?
Did they sound like that?
Yeah. And I said, what's the problem with it? And he goes, it says in the Bible, homosexuals is bad. And I'm like, show me the passage. Show it to me. He can't. There isn't one. The word homosexual didn't exist 2,200 years ago.
It should have. It should have. It would have made arguments that much fucking easier.
Speaking of things that didn't exist 2,200 years ago, a man who is loaded up on antibiotics and chain smoking had the weirdest side effect ever. And I tell you, this photo makes me want to barf. This is bad. His tongue turned green and hairy. It's George the Animal Steel, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you know who did that? Jesus. Jesus did that, man.
This is what happens when you go gay.
This is exactly what happens. Apparently,
that's gay tongue.
That other story. That is insane. First of all, the green. Okay, I understand that, but the green tongue. That is, and the worst part is I know the guys in the back are going to be like, "Yep, no, we're totally taking this picture for other things on other shows," because Bob's going to love this one. Holy shit!
You know I'm not gay no more.
It's like his tongue is wearing a fucking green toupee. Like, it's trying out, like, if tongues were going to be the Joker themselves, this is what it looked like. But look at the size. Like, it's got a perfect part right down the middle. If that thing got any longer, you could feather it.
Imagine if you called a hooker and she comes over and that's what she sees. There's not enough money.
I mean, the thought, it should be, like a feather or like a, you know what I mean? Like a velvet glove or something like that, right? That's what it should be like.
You sound like you want to take this guy for a spin.
I'm just trying to find a positive in all of this, Donnie. But the problem is that thing is infected as fuck.
Oh my God. That thing needs to be cut out at the root.
How did you get rid of this thing? It looks like a mullet. If you look deep enough back,
he's got a tongue mullet.
If you look deep enough back, it looks like it's a skull going back into his throat, and then a mullet hanging down the fucking front.
We got to take that down because I'm gonna throw up. There was a story that broke yesterday that Prime Energy is being recalled in Canada because the caffeine in Prime Energy drink is ridiculously high and over the legal limits. Prime Energy is owned by YouTube and WWE star Logan Paul and his buddy KSI. Logan Paul had a really weird reaction today to this.
Well, hold on. I mean, there was reason that they did this first. We'll get we can get to that. We can get that. Tell the story. Like,
I thought I just did.
No, this is insane. The reason that they're saying that they're pulling it from Canada
because of the caffeine levels,
3 times the amount.
It's insane.
What's the difference? What's the difference between having 3 coffees in the day?
No. This is way more than 3 coffees. This is stupid levels high.
What's the amount?
This is like taking 10 5-hour energies. It's ridiculous.
Or what does that equate to in cocaine?
Like one night with Levy.
Well, he's clean. I'm just saying,
one night with Levy 15 years
ago. Like a gram?
Circa 2008.
The fuck do I know about cocaine use?
Well, then how can you make an argument that it's anywhere near cocaine use, Donnie? What
You're
the fuck is the matter with
cocaine?
You? Well, I'm just trying to get a fucking bearing here, guy.
All I know is my kid feels like Prime is cool and it gets marketed on all the social platforms, asks me to buy Prime. I picked up a bottle of Prime. I read the label and it says right on it, not recommended for children under the age of 18.
Okay. Stephen C said fucking 2 Jolt Colas. Don says half an 8-ball. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Redbird says 2 grams and a shot of Jaeger. Like this, everybody's all over the fucking place on this. I mean, all of those are great fucking suggestions, by the way, at once.
Back in the day when I first got to know Tid, and I would be working at the nightclub with him until 2-3 in the morning. I would leave, go work at a radio station and produce there. And then around 6 a.m., I would drive home. By 6 a.m., I was drinking 2 or 3 Jolt Colas and a couple caffeine pills.
Okay, so you don't bitch about the kids nowadays drinking a fucking Prime. What's the matter with you, old man?
But that was bad. But that was bad.
Man. Let them fucking learn.
It was bad.
Yeah. But it was great. But it was great at the same time, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have done it more than fucking once.
I did it to not die because I would have fallen asleep at the wheel.
They're doing it for different reasons?
They're doing it because they think it's cool.
That's the same reason you fucking did it.
But anyway, the really weird part is Logan Paul went on his TikTok today and talked about, so apparently Canada's pulling Prime Energy and off the shelves and they're recalling it, but we don't even have Prime Energy in Canada. We don't distribute Prime Energy in Canada. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Because I've seen it in every gas station, bro.
This morning, Complex, TMZ, Reuters, Forbes, and many more talking about how Prime Energy drinks are recalled in Canada. But the crazy part about that is we don't even distribute Prime Energy in Canada. Let me repeat that. We don't even distribute Prime Energy in Canada. So how can it be recalled? Well, the answer is illegal or unauthorized imports of the beverage. But of course, traditional media doesn't care about that because they just want a headline. They want clicks. The level of misinformation currently being spread around Prime is actually insane. And you have to ask yourself why. Don't forget, we are a better for you product. Our energy drink has 10 calories and 0 sugar. Prime formulas are compliant with each specific country's regulatory bodies. All of them. And yeah, our energy drink has caffeine in it. It's an energy drink. And no, our low sugar, low calorie hydration drink doesn't have caffeine in it. But traditional news, and by the way, they're not even news anymore. It should be called stories because people are just making shit up to get clicks. They know that if they talk about Prime, whether the information they're spreading is true or not, they will get attention on a product that is legitimately better for you, lower in sugar, lower in calories, and healthier ingredients than most of our competitors. So, you know, it actually doesn't surprise me that we're being targeted by massive corporate conglomerates and the United States government, because using social media, we've effectively created a beverage so disruptive that it is eating the market share of some of the biggest corps on the planet. And quite frankly, they're pissed. We're taking money out of their pocket. But honestly, I'm happy that people are seeing through the BS. I think the government and traditional media underestimates the collective intelligence of you, the American people. And although some people will be fooled, I am thankful that social media has given us, underdogs trying to make a business, a disruptive, better for you business, a voice to talk about the truth. Don't be fooled by the media. Take every headline with a grain of salt. And most importantly, drink Prime. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Take every headline with a grain of salt. There's 10 tablespoons in Prime.
I'm sold. Send me 7 cases of it, Andrew Tate.
How can he complain that the American government is trying to fuck with them when it's the Canadian government that pulled them off the shelves?
Hold on 1 second. Let's go back to the original, because we have seen a lot of the Prime hydration drinks. They're everywhere, but the Prime energy drinks are not everywhere like the Prime hydration drinks are. Prime energy drinks are usually exactly, which is what Shell and the Circle K's, which are American companies, and all of those little Canada, as I like to call them, course you do stores. You know, those little convenience stores that you walk into and you look at the stuff in there and you're like, yeah, of course you do. You've got that here. But he said it himself, could be getting in from illegal imports. Yeah. I mean, you can drive down pretty much in any part of the world down the street and get some illegal smokes at your closest reservation. So, I mean, it happens. It's not, he could be right as well as Canada can be right. Both things can happen, Donnie.
I'm sure the guy running the Petro-Canada station is running down to Buffalo to grab cases of Prime Energy.
You'd be surprised, dude.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That is not happening.
I'll bet you it is.
Corporate chains that have their own supply chain in place.
No, they meet a guy in like upstate New York.
Yeah.
Okay. And they throw it all onto a boat and run it
Yeah.
across the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
Like rum runners used to. This is what
Yeah.
they're doing. They're prime runners now. Come on.
These stores,
Come on.
these I'm not talking about like first of all, for anyone who's in the US that doesn't understand the landscape in Canada, it's not like when you drive through the US and there's 1,000 different gas stations, right? And there's like Joe's Gas, Bob's Gas, Lee's Gas. It's like you got 5 or 6 gas stations and they're all corporate chains. They're all conglomerates, okay? They all have supply chain. They all have planograms in their stores on what goes on which shelf, how much Coke to put on shelf 2, how much
which
Pepsi
store?
to put on shelf 3.
Oh.
They are not fucking importing anything illegally. Like, this is so asinine to try and sell this. But
Next thing you're going to tell me birds are real. Get out of here with your bullshit, Donnie.
what else did we want to touch on?
We got a couple of these things we haven't read yet, I believe.
Oh, some super chats. Okay, go. What do we got? 712 Colgate, $1.99. Powered through unshaved girl. Tittle understands. Does he?
Yeah.
Topo
Yeah, he
Gigio,
does.
$10.
Absolutely.
Wanted to break the $1.99 streak. You guys are great and deserve more viewers, in my humble opinion. I fucking agree. Tell your friends. Do you have friends? Tell them. Tid, do you have friends? Tell them.
I have. What have you been doing?
Telling friends.
Don't get me started. Well, no. Family. Mom isn't a friend. She's a mom.
She's listening.
How's her social reach?
Not so good.
Good as her reach around.
Whoa.
Vodka straight up, thank you. Oh, that's Dawn. Okay, there we go. Gina, yes, I do have stories. I definitely have stories. There's no doubt about that.
What's that question in context to?
I guess I was talking some bullshit earlier. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Tid's got stories.
Yeah, we're going to get to those. You know what? If you look at it, you can see. We'll just talk about this briefly before we go. I've broken down and I've started my own YouTube channel to get some of these stories out.
Okay.
For free and to the public for now. Because the older
Some
I
of those
get,
stories won't be free.
they won't. The older I get, the more, they deserve to be out there. So that's what we're going to be doing. So,
And you better check
there's gonna be some
statute of
new content.
limitations on some of those stories.
Oh, I absolutely have and will. Duh. You think I don't got a legal team behind this whole thing? That's why it's taken this long to get this going. So all of you in here, please go over to the YouTube channel at Tid Talk. It's right there in my name thing. And please subscribe. Wait patiently. It'd be very much appreciated.
I want to share one funny Tid story.
Oh boy.
This one's one of my favorites. I've told this one on the air on other shows before. It fucking kills me every single time. Tid and I, as I mentioned when KC was on, we worked together in nightclubs, mainly at one in particular, but we actually did work together at a couple other clubs as well. And so we were working together most nights. And on some nights we weren't working. What would we do? We'd go to another club. Because we didn't know what else to do. We just went to another club and grabbed beers and visited with people that worked at those clubs that were friends of ours, right?
It was free.
So we went to a club, which at the time was known as the Docks. Today it's called, what the fuck's it called today?
Sure.
I forget what it's called now.
I'll fucking go there.
I don't know. Drake owns it now.
Sure. Exactly.
Whatever Drake's club is down on Cherry Beach in Toronto. So we went, and TNA Wrestling just did a pay-per-view from that place. So we went down to this club and we're standing outside just talking with some of the doormen who are buddies of ours. And all of a sudden there's this group of like junior hockey players. They're all like 18, 19 years old, whatever the hell they are. And they start a scrap. And these guys are all like 5'6", 200 pounds. They're all like little fire plug type dudes, right? And they all think they're badasses. And they decide to start shit with the doorman. A couple of guys dummy one of our buddies. And Tid just looks at me like, here we go. And he goes up to this one guy and just looks at him and goes, you should stop now. And he's like, or what? And I remember Tid just took him back heel trip, put him down. The guy's on his ass, and Tid's got a hold of his ankle. And he's like, let me go, motherfucker. Let me go. Let me go. And Tid's like, and he's holding his ankle like this. And he goes, you're going to calm down now, or I'm going to break your ankle. And the guy's like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'll fucking kill you. He's like, I'm warning you, calm down, or I'm going to break your ankle. Come on, you motherfucker, I'll fucking kill you. He's like, okay. And he goes like that. And the guy goes, you motherfucker, you broke my ankle. And I'm like, hey, calm down, buddy. You're fine. And Tid looks at me, hiding his face from this guy. And he's got this boyish grin. And he goes, no, dude, I broke his ankle.
But
And I never
put
saw
him
Tid look so happy.
I put him in a cab. I put him in the back of a cab. I paid the cab driver and told the cab driver to take him to which specific hospital.
Right.
Come on. I anyways.
He took care of him.
Anyways, one of the many more elaborate stories that we'll probably get into over there. So,
the best part of that is just the fact
that is once again
sheer
YouTube
look of joy.
Well, it was fun. YouTube.com /@Tid Talk, TIDTALK, like TED Talks, but Tid Talk.
Oh, I didn't put the.
Yeah, I know you didn't, you fucking maroon.
Okay.
Hey,
Do we have anything
Austin
else
is
we
back?
need to?
Is that what I just heard?
What?
Austin is back.
You just got muted.
Oh, that's probably a real thing then.
No, Austin's
Maybe you
not
just
here.
can't hear. Oh, okay. There you go. That's amazing. This completely not made up story is fascinating. Thank you, IHR, even though I'm sure that you're talking shit, but that's cool. Thanks for listening to the entire thing.
Fake?
Well, I mean, there you go. 712 Colgate $1.99. That ankle guy needed a beer and an unshaved kitty. I'm sure. I mean, listen, what
He
they
had a
did
lot of
to
beers
it
that night.
is crazy.
lot of beers.
Austin's online here. Hi, Tid. Oh, thank you for joining us, jerk. Made Joe come in here.
Who, our producer, Austin?
Yeah. He had the night off. He had the night off,
and he's in the chat.
Trip to my Lou. I've been trying to send a super chat. I get blocked.
We didn't block you.
I don't know.
Who blocked him?
I don't see.
Whoever blocked Trip to My Lou is fired.
I mean, would have been
No,
you.
not blocked.
Yeah. No.
Should work.
Trip to
I
My Lou,
think-
test it out. Send $100. Let's see if it works.
Well, if somebody sends $100 over here, Donnie, you're taking that entire fucking shirt off.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, that's only fair. It's been a thing that they've been trying to get you to do for long enough. So, I mean, there you go.
Anything else we need to plug before we wrap this bitch up?
I mean, we've got all kinds of stuff over at the SNME network where this is going to be as well. It's always fun here at the Shuley network. Check out all of the other shows as well. I think I've got some, like I said, I've got some new content coming out. A surprise guest is going to be joining me in one of these episodes that is going to be fantastic. An older guy with a lot of road stories as well, from the zebra's point of view.
Speaking of it, what?
Yeah. There you go. That's all I'm going to say.
Friend of mine?
Friend of everybody's.
Okay.
Even 100 Canadian Tobo Gigio says, yeah, whatever. IHR, I'm trying to make you interesting. I appreciate everything about your help about as much as that guy appreciates the edge of that fucking ledge.
Play that video one more time.
No, I'm kidding.
I love
genius.
Wait, I gotta see it again. I like the caption. What does the caption say? Play one more time, please. I'm begging you.
I'm begging you.
When you decide to show off for your crush and he bites it. Have you ever had a moment like that, Tid? Where you're trying to look cool and you just absolutely
no, not
botch?
so much, but yes. So I can remember when I was younger, you drive out into like the country a little bit, and there'd be like a place where you would park and you could go walk your dog down some path or something like that, right? And a lot of places here in Canada, and I'm sure other places have them as well. But there was this place that is full of houses now that we would go drive out to, and we'd park there and then walk down the path a bit and, just get fucking red eye as shit, have a couple of beers, chill out, and then go back home, right? And it got dark. And as I was coming out of there, they had one of those low chain things so that you couldn't drive in it any further and you had to park in front of it. I completely forgot the thing was there. Boom, straight down, face full of fucking rocks. Thankfully, this is the test as to how high I really was, because I just started laughing instantly. It was pretty goddamn funny. But yes, I can almost feel that guy's pain, other than the embarrassment of all of the other people around him just going, you ate shit, stupid.
The first story that pops in my head that I can relate to that on is, I think it's 2010. It was the first time I ever met Kevin Nash, and I was a huge Kevin Nash fan, right?
Mark.
Any pro wrestling fans that don't know him, Big Daddy Cool Diesel. This guy was, like, as far as I'm concerned, cooler than the other side of the pillow. Like, cool effortlessly, right? Cool without trying. He's at the venue a few hours before a show that I was booking. He's sitting in the bleachers, just chilling, like near the top of the bleachers, just chilling, watching guys set up the ring. So I'm walking over to him to talk about what we're going to do that night. And I'm excited. I'm like, okay, play it cool. It's Kevin Nash. He's the coolest motherfucker on earth. Play it cool, play it cool, play it cool. And I'd interviewed him, and you and I had interviewed him a couple times before over the phone, but this is different now. It's face to face. So I'm walking over to him, and someone had spilled a bottle of water on the bleachers. So as I'm walking up the metal bleachers, my foot slips, and I do the fucking splits. I'm like Bambi on ice.
The only time in your life that you've ever done the fucking splits, I'm sure.
I did the fucking, I crotched myself.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys.
Topo Gigio with $100, and you don't have to take your top off, Donnie. Topo Gigio, you are a saint, and you know what? For that $100 next week, you can join us at the end of the show for a couple minutes. Okay.
I mean, a promise is a promise, though, Donnie.
Hey, the man said I don't have to take my top off.
The person said.
Oh, sorry. I'm just making an assumption.
Yeah, figures. That's what you do.
That was the most embarrassing. That was
the
most embarrassing
thing I did. Settle down, Vixen.
So much fun. Topo Gigio, send us an email. Hold on. Topo Gigio, send us an email. info@godfathersofpodcasting.com. If you want it next week, you join us at the end of the show.
100%. You are an incredible human being. Thank you so much to everybody who's been a part of all of this with us tonight. As Alan says, this is the Darth Shuli's Empire. We need to see KC. We love the old school boys. Well, and we love you for your illiteracy.
What did that sentence mean? We need to see KC. We love the old school boys.
Because I don't know if you read your emails once in a while, you'll understand this is no longer being referred to as the Shuli Network.
Right, it's TSN.
There's more people coming in, there's more shows, bigger numbers. I don't know if you've noticed the subscribers that they've got. It is now being referred to as an empire, the Shuli Empire. And from now on, it even says you have to refer to him as Julius Caesar.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the guys in the back do, is what I'm saying. The guys in the back do.
Yeah.
Right. But they get to keep their shirts off when they
Shuli's going to have to tip me $100 to call him Shuli.
Well, it will be. It'll be from the super chats that you made tonight. There you go.
Thanks again to everyone for hanging out with us. Thank you for your donations. It helps us to keep doing what we're doing. Make sure you tell your friends about this show, Godfathers of Podcasting, godfathersofpodcasting.com. If you want to see all of our archives going back, we have so many great shows that you can check out. And of course, we are available on every major podcast provider with the audio version of the program. Tid, you wanted to jump in?
Damn, Tidwell, you made a KC appearance boring.
Wow.
I appreciate you sticking around throughout the entire show to tell me that, and I'll be looking for you next week when you do it again.
Who wrote
Next
that?
time, this IHR. I hate realism. Boo these men off the stage. Please do it. And as soon as you put up a real picture with your real name, I'll bring you on here. You can come on here and you can tell me that right in front and center. Please do anytime. You fucking on air fucking marks. Anyways.
That would never happen in person.
No,
And it wouldn't. It
Ever.
wouldn't. And that's the fucking
No.
thing. That is the reality about all of it, is it would not happen in person. So
this
please
guy's got that
do
small
yourself
man
a
energy.
favor. Do yourself a favor and just like settle down. Save that for larger areas where you can hide in the mix and nobody gives a shit and nobody's going to call you out on it.
This
Okay?
guy would have to
But I
stand on-
appreciate you. I appreciate you for sticking around the entire fucking time. You fucking mark.
He's the kind of guy that would have to stand on a bar stool to look either one of us eye to eye. Dude, we don't
Thank
sweat you.
See? And you just got the response that you were looking for. So enjoy, my friend. Enjoy.
We don't sweat you, bro. No. Next week, as I mentioned off the top, I'm super excited because Jeremy Hotz is going to be on the show, and he's so good. He's so good. His comedy makes me fucking cry.
Are you going to have to wear a diaper?
Maybe.
Because you're just going to be like busting nut and rusting out your zipper the entire fucking time next week?
Dude, I used to listen to his special. I had a cassette tape of his special in high school that I used to listen to on repeat. He had
Is
this
chef's
bit-
kiss your favorite sexual position?
He had this bit about superheroes, and he's like, Spider-Man, he's like the worst superhero. He shoots thread. What's he gonna do? Knit me a sweater? And he's like, and then there's Astro Boy. The poor kid doesn't have feet. He's like, oh, here comes Astro Boy. Let's run away.
That's why you can never see Astro Boy in France. Those fucking guys in their parkour, you'd never catch anybody. Unbelievable.
I love Jeremy Hotz.
He is
I'm
a funny
huge
dude. He's
fan.
funny and he's clean too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and that's very rare to be able to do both, you know, and he does it very well. And he is a icon.
Our friend
Canadian.
Renee Percy put us in touch with Jeremy, which is so great. They're pals. So I'm super excited. I'm curious to see, we'll find out next week. Is he going to be like in his like weird depressed gimmick thing where he's always clutching his face, or is he going to be normal when we talk to him? I don't know.
Which is normal. We don't know. I mean, but you can't expect the guy to come on here. You can't expect the guy to come on here and be a fucking gimmick the entire time. I'm not that
never seen
fucking
another side
stuttering
of him.
John fucking clown.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I'm excited to find out. I'm a huge, huge fan. He's like one of my favorite stand-ups of all time.
Awesome. Well, that is an amazing fucking get then for you, especially, and for us and for everybody out there for next week. So there'll be some graphic. We'll have the boys working on it just like we did. Thank you. Special shout out as well to the guys in the back for these video commercials, so to speak, that they've been putting together. Austin, Andy, Joe, everybody else that's been helping out with them. They've been fantastic, and we appreciate the shit out of them, and we're going to keep them coming.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Andy. Joe left early. I don't know why, Tid, you don't like Joe. I like Joe.
I love Joe.
No, you
Who
don't.
the fuck said I don't like Joe? I've been on Team Joe since day one. Maybe if you fucking showed up around here,
No.
you'd fucking know once in a while.
You told me off air you wanted to beat the shit out of Joe.
Fuck you, stuttering Don. You piece of shit. You don't even fucking know what's going on around here. Yes, that's more like it. Look at you, fucking Ollie.
Look at you. Just look at you. Thank you,
That's-
ladies and gentlemen. Been trying to wrap this show up forever. That's Tid. I'm Donnie. This has been the
Shit,
Godfathers
what
of
you meant to say.
podcasting.
Fucking
145. It's in the books. I don't know why he's talking over me. We are out of here. We'll see you next week.
Sucks when that happens, huh?
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please.